So we've been talking about how to use this camera now, and there are very few ways that you can improve it, but one of them is to ignore this horrible little thing. If you actually put the camera on your hand like this, you can see that getting a straight image is actually really difficult because your hand just tends to move around a bit. Far better is to place it like this on a table so you've got a nice flat surface, or alternatively use a tripod. Now, tripods are fairly standard, as is the way that you connect them to each different camera. For instance, here we have a shoe, and you just unclip the shoe like this and it comes out. And then what happens is that this shoe gets connected via the screw here to the bottom of whichever camera you are using. So here you can see there's the screw area there, so I just connect the two. And I make sure I'm not cross-threading the thing, and then I just screw it in, left-handed, so it's bound to be more difficult than it should be. And then once that is nice and safely, firmly on there, that means it won't move, so I've got my camera now ready to be mounted back onto the tripod. So it goes on here and it just clips in. And there we go. Now I can quite easily move the tripod up and down. That's called tilting. Or I can pan it very smoothly in one direction or the other. Now, better still, earlier on I was talking about the ability to use a camera and move it forward closer to the subject or away from it, without using the zoom button on the camera, because that's not very reliable. So what we can do is use a track. Now, as you can see here, the tripod just goes into these little holes in the track, fits in quite nicely, and you use these little elastic grips to tie it securely to the actual track itself. If you have a look over here, here's one I prepared earlier, nicely mounted, and if I give it a bit of a tug, it shouldn't be able to come off like that. Now that gives me the flexibility to then be able to track in or track away, and you see it's a nice smooth motion there. The only reason it wasn't too smooth at the end is as I ran out of track. Now you can actually extend this track. We've got lots of different pieces, but here's a very small ordinary piece of plastic that we can use to extend this track. Now we've got about 30 feet of track, and all you do is squeeze it, place it into the tube, and then you place another end on this end. And that makes it really easy to extend the track all the way along the floor, and then you've got a really, really long track that you can use for your camera. And that is how to get a smooth tracking shot.